Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video. Today I want to show off my wrestling collection. This is kind of like updated, though there's really nothing new. Well, there's one new figure that I'm going to show. But this is kind of like an update slash piggybacking off of my last AEW figure showcase. Really, it wasn't really a review. But now that I've had some time with the AEW figures, I've changed my mind on a few things, and I have the Storm Collectibles Hogan here. That's the superior Hulk Hogan, in my opinion. I do not like Mattel's version after having this one, so that's why he's up here. I don't have as many duplicates as I did before. There's a few duplicates in my collection still, mostly Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. Don't have any of the current wrestlers I don't have on display. So let's go to the next row. But I'm just kind of showing this off, and I'll just talk a little bit about how my mind has changed on the AEW figures. There's the new figure, the Target exclusive Razor Ramon Legends. So see, you got the other Scott Hall in the back, Lex Luger. So yeah, but anyways, and then I got these guys at the bottom. But anyways, I gotta change my mind a bit on, let's go over. Gotta change my mind a bit on the AEW figures, man. Is the articulation better than Mattel? Yes. We finally got with AEW figures what we should have been getting with the WWE line for years now. Much like you see with this Shawn Michaels here. Love the articulation in this guy. And then like this Bret Hart figure. These are both the Ultimates line. But I will say that a part of the problem now that I'm seeing with the AEW figures, minus the Chris Jericho one, every single figure that I have is loose. Every single figure that I have is loose. It is insane how loose the joints get. My Kenny Omega, very loose torso. Very loose torso for Cody and the Young Bucks. Now, the reason why that is an issue is playing with them it makes it very hard to actually like pose them around and keep them. I don't know, because I play with my figures, you know what I mean? I have fun with these things, man. I set certain shots up for photos and stuff like that, and I mean the figures get really loose. Like I pick up my Cody Rhodes figure, and I mean he just starts wobbling all over the place. So that's really kind of like the only knock. They're not as big also as the Mattel figures in terms of like just the width of them. Like you see, if you look at the Mattel line, you see these guys look a lot more heftier. So they look really good in rings. So yeah. So I still like the AEW line. I don't know if I'm going to continue it, but I actually, I'm kind of back on the Mattel train, man. Again, not going crazy. Mostly getting these type of guys. And also, too, what drew me back to collecting the Mattel stuff, getting back on this train, is when you look at these wrestlers, right? There was so much character in wrestlers before. Again, I'm still a fan of wrestling. I still enjoy it. I mainly watch AEW. But overall, I still do think wrestling was a better product during these times. During the 80s, during the 90s, and the 80s stuff, I had to catch up with a lot of the 80s stuff. There was only so much of the 80s left when I started watching wrestling. So, like, I really came into wrestling in the 90s. Like, 92 was when I really started, as a child, really getting into it. And my brother showed me a lot of the old stuff. And I saw it at a young age. He was buying, like, the old WrestleMania 3s and all of those WrestleManias on VHS at the time, because that's when VHSs were popping. But yeah, he was getting a lot of that stuff on VHS, so I had to catch up. I mostly am a fan of wrestling from the 90s, but I do have an appreciation for the 80s. I like a lot. I mean, that's why I have like a lot of these guys are from the 80s, like, you know, especially on this row specifically. So, I just love the characters. I mean, they all pop. If you look at all of these different colors, you look at all of these different costumes, all of this personality, this is what's missing in wrestling today. Even in AEW, a lot of this is missing. You know, you may not have to go as goofy as a clown. You may not have to go as goofy as an IRS, you know, tax person, or Tatanka, an Indian, you know, stuff like that. You may not have to go that ridiculous, but this is what made wrestling to me, man. These guys felt like superheroes. It was literally like heroes versus villains, and it was just really, really cool to see all of these different type of characters, man. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I guess like there's good things about the AEW figures that the Mattel ones don't have, and vice versa. And but I will say that I think I'm probably gonna stick with this. I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, there might be a few other AEW guys I'm gonna get, but I'm back on the Mattel train, man. Don't judge me. Minds can change. So yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. This is Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.